November has rolled around, and that means it's time to start cleaning up the rest of the outside and getting it winterized. So I'm starting here by cutting down my hydrangea plants, and I want to make sure I'm cleaning my tools really well. You can see I really need to clean these clippers up. They're so rusty, but I'm using some alcohol to keep them clean. That way I don't spread any diseases to these hydrangea plants, because it's easily to spread diseases. So I want to make sure that I'm taking really good care of these plants, because I love hydrangea plants. They're my favorite flower. So I'm making sure that these are staying really clean and clipping all of this. So how I do this, I just go down to the first bud. It's probably about like 5 inches from the ground. I just go above that bud and I just clip them. And now every hydrangea is probably different in how you prune them and what time you prune them, but I've had this variety for many years, so I've done this every single year and it's always worked for me. So I just wait until everything basically dies in the fall, and then I just go up a couple inches above the bud and I'll just clip everything off. And I'll do that with both of these bushes right here, and next year they will start budding out on those little buds and form new canes. Just going around here cleaning up all of these plants and putting it into the wheelbarrow. Honestly, I probably could have saved some of these to decorate with, but a lot of these were too far gone and the leaves were just kind of just falling off, so I don't know. It probably would have just been a mess if I would have decorated with them in my house. So maybe next year I'll think about cutting them sooner before they're too dead. Maybe cut the fresh flower and then turn them upside down and then decorate with them later on for fall, because I really do. I love these flowers. They're like my favorite flower. So what I'm doing here is I am getting some things to cover these up for the fall and winter, because my cat and my dog like to get in here and dig little spots and lay down and find bedding through the day. Especially my cat. My cat will just nestle in here, tear up the roots of these plants, and just find a little spot for a bed. I'm going to cover these with some old fencing that we have, and then I'm going to have to cover both ends with some chicken wire or something so this cat cannot get inside this little tunnel. So got to protect these plants this year, because he had just destroyed everything last fall and I do not want to take that risk again. So then I moved over to the porch. I'm cleaning out all of these Halloween pumpkins that we have. They're starting to get a little soft, and I'm going to feed them to the cows. It'll be a good little treat for them. The pumpkins actually will be a really good energy source and protein for the cows to eat. It may also be a good dewormer if they eat the pumpkin seeds, but I know all of my cows probably won't eat all of these pumpkins, because I do have some picky cows, but at least 2 of them actually eat a lot of garden scraps. They all love running up here and seeing what kind of treat they're getting today. This year has just flown by. I just cannot believe I'm throwing out the pumpkins already. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving this next week, and then shortly after that we'll be decorating for Christmas. I love to decorate for Christmas, and I have some new ideas. Make sure you guys stay tuned to this channel so you guys can see how I am going to decorate this year. I'm so excited and have some really good ideas this year. So I'm finally feeding my sourdough starter with fresh mill grain. It's all fresh mill grain now, and you can see here that it is bubbling and active. You can actually kind of hear it, but I actually kind of muted this video so you can't really hear it. But I've been practicing quite a bit on my sourdough bread, because I just want to get to where I can just know how to do certain things with fresh milled flour, and sourdough is actually quite different to work with fresh milled grains. So this is probably about my second time making sourdough bread, and actually this one actually turned out pretty good. The first time I actually made sourdough bread, I used too small of a pan, so it had no room to expand, and it was very dense. So I actually went back to my Dutch oven and it actually worked out perfectly. But I'm here doing the stretching folds for a couple hours, and then I'm going to move on to my garden cauliflower. I'm going to have to process that, put it away into the freezer for winter. So I actually harvested the cauliflower like at the perfect time that it was ready. It's one of those things that it could just go too long and the color will change yellow, and then the floral part will separate and loosen, and then it just tastes bitter. So it's like you have to watch that perfect window where you need to harvest, and I actually did that this year. I'm so proud of myself. So what I like to do with my cauliflower is I like to blanch it, which really just means that I'm just going to boil it for 3 minutes to help with the color and the texture, and it helps it not lose flavor over time in the freezer. So it really helps preserve the cauliflower in the freezer for a long period of time. So you have to blanch it to keep it from going bad as quick into the freezers. So after I blanch everything, I put it on a tray with parchment paper, and then I flash freeze it into my deep freeze. So that just means I'm just gonna flash freeze everything just for a couple hours until it's good and solid, and then I'll go to my vacuum seal bags and seal everything up into portion size bags for my family to eat for dinners. So I'm back to doing my last stretch and fold on my sourdough, and I'm telling you what, you guys, for my second try it turned out pretty good. I just love learning new things, and it's just really good for my mind since I'm a stay-at-home mom and just to keep busy. So I am so excited that I learned this new technique on sourdough with fresh mill grain. So I can't wait to actually keep practicing and getting better and better. So proud of actually how it turned out today. So I have to show you guys really quick what our cover crop looks like. It's so green, it's so beautiful this year. Last year it didn't grow as good as this, so I'm so excited. I'm going to turn you guys around so you guys can see just how green and big this cover crop is getting this year. The only thing that changed this year was I am actually shopping local for my cover crop, and I don't know if it's just because it's good quality seed, but you can see in the background, look how green that is. It's so pretty. So we're just gonna walk through the garden and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. I am just so amazed at how well this is doing this year. It is so thick and it's a lot taller than it was last year. We actually only had 2 frosts so far, and luckily we still have been getting really good weather. So I think that's why these are growing so well, because we're not having that frost to kill it out just yet. I'm gonna get up close here. But look at this. It's getting so tall. And then the peas are coming in. So my plan is next year I'll be tilling all of this in with a tiller, but it should start dying off when we get really bitterly cold weather coming in. So eventually this will all die off and it just will be a good ground cover, and it'll keep my soil protected all winter. So I actually had enough time to get this cover crop in, and it is growing so well. I wish you guys could see it in person, because on camera it's hard to tell really what it looks like, but it is so thick and doing so well than it did last year. So walking over here, this is one of the front rows in the garden. This one's kind of splotchy. It's not really growing as well. We've been getting a lot of rain here lately, so that's exactly what this needed. It really boosted it, and it looks so much greener with all the rain. I got some cabbages that I need to pull out. I need to go check on the cauliflower. I got some Brussels sprouts forming. Let's zoom you guys in here. You can kind of see through the net that we got some Brussels sprouts forming in there. That's exciting. So looking down here, all of these cover crops in these beds, they're doing really well. They're kind of splotchy too, but eventually, hopefully they'll start taking off and getting really tall and taking over the bed so they can cover my soil this winter. And I really need to actually plant this row of onions and cover crop, get it all covered up. And then I will be needing to plant my garlic any day now. So I thought I'd just show you guys real quick since I was out here to show you guys what it looks like here in November. It's so beautiful out here. Even the weather is so beautiful. It's only going to be 63 today. It's a little chilly, but not too bad. The sun feels amazing. So such a beautiful day. Looks like our cover crop is doing amazing. So next year we are going to have a really good success, I hope, on growing more food. So it is deer season, and that just means that it's just so busy around our household. My husband likes to go hunting like every single day that he has a chance to go. I actually usually go, but I haven't really went this year just yet. But I'm doing an easy meal tonight for my kids, and I just wanted to show you guys just how simple and so good. It's like probably my favorite way to eat a hamburger now. So instead of actually just using buns, I actually just get this low carb wrap, and I just chop up some lettuce, and then we get our homemade pickles that we've canned this year, and then we will be flattening out some hamburger meat that we have, which this hamburger meat that we have today is actually mixed a little bit with pork, so I have to overcook this hamburger today just to make sure we're not going to get sick from the pork. If you ever had undercooked pork, you totally understand that it's like the worst sickness you could ever have. So what I do, I just get 2 pieces of parchment paper and a really good heavy bowl, and then I roll the hamburger meat into portion size balls for our family, and then I honestly just use salt and pepper. I don't really need any more seasoning than that, and I'm going to take that bowl and put my meat in between the parchment paper and flatten it out as thin as possible, and then I'm going to throw my hamburger meat into the hot skillet, let it cook a couple minutes, and I'm going to flip it over and let it cook another couple minutes, and I'll throw on the wrap on top and let it kind of cook, and then I'm going to flip over the wrap where the wrap is touching the skillet to get it crispy, and then it'll come right out. So I'm just, only time consuming thing is about making these hamburgers is I have to make one at a time. So once a hamburger comes out, I'll dress it and all the stuff, and I'll give it to my kids to eat, and I'll work on the next hamburger. It's kind of like an assembly line. So the kids are having a hot, fresh hamburger while I cook the rest of these. And I keep this as simple as possible. I don't even put cheese on it. So, I mean, you could put cheese on it if you want to, but I just keep it super simple because I think it tastes just as fine without cheese. So I just put shredded lettuce, some pickles that we canned from our garden, and then we just use burger special sauce. It's like a Big Mac sauce, and then that's it. Like, it's so simple, easy, cheap meal to make whenever you're in a hurry or just don't feel like doing much for dinner. Hamburgers are actually one of my favorite foods to eat, and this hamburger right here is probably like the best way. I love eating hamburgers now. It seems like it's my go-to whenever I want to make a hamburger. If you're looking for a fast, easy meal, this is it, and it's actually really good. If you like pickles, if you like lettuce and Big Mac sauce, you gotta try this. Let me know down in the comments if you try this. If you have tried it, let me know what you guys think. Well, thank you guys for being here today, and I'm hoping that my next video will be my Christmas decorating video. I'm so excited to get that done. I just have a few little pieces to kind of finish buying for my Christmas decorating, so hoping that next week that I will release that video and you guys will get to see how I decorated this year. But I appreciate you guys being here today. Don't forget to like my videos. It really helps out my channel and it gets people to see my videos more. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you love our channel. Thank you for watching.